Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RV GCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RV GCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RV GCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Saturday Night Dialogues. It is December the 28th, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you have enjoyed a beautiful, peaceful Christmas with your family, friends, and loved ones. And we also pray that you will have an even enjoyable New Year's coming up. This is, of course, the last call for 2024, and we are going to end this call tonight with a bang, with the information that Goldilocks has actually provided that many of you probably aren't aware of, with certain articles that you may not be familiar with or understand. But that's why we're here tonight, to bring it to you and explain what you need to understand and know, not only about your investment, not only about Iraq, not only about all the other currencies that you hold, but of course the overall global financial system. Goldilocks has provided this week alone valuable information showing the ending of this calendar year and the beginning of next year is an actual plan for this event. We're going to jump into some prayer, then we're going to get to the announcements, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling. We're not going to belabor the moment. Father God, we always thank you for allowing us to be here, to be together. We also thank you for allowing us all to participate in this massive event that is life-changing, not only for us, but for generations to come. We thank you for Goldilocks. We thank you for Wiley. We thank you for the tribe. We thank you for She-Hulk, Lady E. We thank you for the grace and the mercy that you have bestowed upon us this year, 2024, to allow us to come together as a community where some of us were together in another community, but we made a greater transition by your divine will to be here together, where we have grown leaps and bounds, where people from around the world are literally accessing the facts with receipts provided by Goldilocks, and also with Wiley and myself and the tribe collectively helping members to prepare for their exchanges and their generational wealth with the knowledge we provide in the room. We thank you, and we ask for traveling mercies for all of the members and all people, no matter where they are, as they travel back and forth from their homes and families to their final destinations. In your precious name, we pray. Amen. All right, folks, let's get into this. Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room, of course, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Saturday. That is where you all should know, where we break down Goldilocks articles. We answer any questions related to the Goldilocks articles. And also that is where we educate our members on establishing relationships with the bankers that are going to exchange their currency and also help to establish their generational wealth. And you're going to hear from some of them tonight. All right. And then we have on Thursdays as Higher Learning with Anastasia. That is our spiritual growth and development. Anastasia is the one who introduced me to the RV 13 some odd years ago. and she is a higher being from another planet that brings a whole another level of understanding on this event. Then we have Dee's room. Dee's room is where Dee, of course, drops many articles related to the event all day within her room. And then we have the crypto finance room with Dave Big Dog. Anything related to crypto, you have questions. That is where you can go to ask your questions and get whatever help you need. And then, of course, Goldilocks Global Banking News, your daily podcast, whereby Goldilocks drops the articles and we do a daily podcast to break down those articles in audio form so that you're able to obtain your daily updates on the RBGCR. And I would like to just really say a big thank you and a shout out to all the members around the world who are subscribed to the channel. Just last week, we were at 12,000 subscribers. Now we're at 13,000, over 1,000 within the last week. And it's been growing like that, leaps and bounds. And we've only started that channel, I believe it's 6 months ago. But it is a true testament to you, the people, who are actually sharing your firsthand experience with the bankers, whereby you're able to meet them face to face. And then all of that is because you're following the process that Goldilocks has shared with us for several years. And we're now seeing everything that Goldilocks has shared about the RV in preparation for the banking system, the global banking system, the U.S. banking system. You're now seeing what Goldilocks has been sharing coming into fruition. And this is where Wiley and myself and the tribe are able to educate members how to step out and establish these relationships with the actual bankers. Because, folks, we know what's going on internally within the banking system. So it's a true blessing and a true testament, and we're very grateful. Tonight, we're going to hear from 4 members. 2 is a couple. You heard from them last week, but they have an amazing update that they're going to share with you tonight with their, I believe, 3rd wealth management meeting. Then we have a member that you have not heard from who is going to share her amazing story. And then we have the VIP, the superstar herself that you'll hear from, whom you have not heard from in quite a while. But I believe she is on wealth manager number 68. And she's going to share her story. And then the awesome, amazing Garlic String Beans is going to read the articles with me tonight. And folks, I'm going to summarize. When we get to the articles, the first article is going to be so brief. It's probably going to be 5 minutes. We're actually going to clarify. We know that there was an article that came out of Iraq whereby Iraq, in this article, said that the exchange rate will not change. That's right. The article said the exchange rate will not change. I'm going to bring you some clarity on that. It's only going to take 5 minutes. And I'm going to actually, before we get to the article, also, I'm going to ask for those members who recall several months ago where we did a podcast and we explained, I forgot this part, when we explained that the rate in the budget cannot and will not go up relative to the RV, and that the budget was for operations and expense. I'm going to ask you all, when we get to that point, to raise your hands. Then we're going to show you, by way of Goldilocks, directly from the CBI, showing that Iraq is connecting to the quantum financial system. They're implementing their measures to connect to the QFS. Then we're going to talk about due diligence procedures, which is background checks for your exchange. Then we're going to tie it into an article by Goldilocks, just where a law went into effect yesterday that's also connected to foreign exchange procedures at the bank. Then we're going to wrap it up and end 2024 with an article by Goldilocks that actually shows how the global RV GCR is being put into motion, specifically for 2025. All right, just wanted to summarize that. The order will be Mr. and Mrs. Eyebrow. I think we've given them a new name. I think we're calling them Unibrow. They're going to come forth first, and then we're going to go to ER, and then we're going to go to PR. All right. The Unibrow, Mr. and Mrs. Eyebrow, if you can unmute. Folks, tonight is going to be fire.
The Unibrows are here.
I love it. I think someone just gave y'all that new name in the room earlier, huh?
Zachary.
That was I should have known, Mr. Zachary himself. In fact, speaking of Zachary, I do not want to fail to mention Zachary. We just want to say thank you. You are a tremendous leader in the room. We have so many, but since you mentioned Zachary, Miss Eyebrow, I had to mention Zachary. For those of you who don't know, Zachary and Amber, they're RV ready. Relationships with the bankers established. In fact, for those that don't know, Zachary and Amber, after third or fourth meeting with their bank, the vice president of the bank told them that vice president of bank said he got a call from his higher ups and told Zach and Amber that yes, the RV is real and the Iraqi dinar is going to revalue. He's been hearing over 20 years that it was a scam, but he said he got a call from his higher ups that this is real and it's happening. And that was months ago, folks. That was months ago. I'm just being that Miss Eyebrow mentioned Zach and Amber, and Zach is a tremendous leader, helping so many members to establish their relationships, walking them through the process and getting them RV ready because he's there. And we have many other members doing the same thing and helping other members. Miss Eyebrow, Mr. Eyebrow, I'm going to read something that you posted into the room. And I thought I posted into the room and disappeared, but I'm reading. It says, Mr. Eyebrow and I just returned from our third meeting with a wealth manager. They always say three's a charm. We had a great experience with this particular wealth manager. We actually went to the same institution as the second one, but at a different branch. It was like night and day. We decided that this would be our go-to guy. We have another meeting scheduled in January with him and the private client banker. So as far as banks are concerned, we are done looking. I will, however, reach out to a private firm in the short near future. Again, much thanks to Freedom Fighter, Wiley, Lady E, and all the others in this chat who have been very instrumental in this venture. That's what I'm talking about. So this was, I remember when you guys were on the call last Saturday, that second meeting was last Friday. You didn't care too much for that gentleman, that wealth manager. I believe he had 8 years experience. He didn't know what an indexed universal life policy was. Y'all wanted to smack him in the head with your notebook. But then it sounds like you went back to the same institution, but a different location, and you said it was night and day.
Yes.
Can y'all fill us in? Is Mr. Eyebrow with you?
Well, go on, brethren.
Well, go on, me, brethren.
Good.
All is well.
Everything good.
Everything. All right.
Everything Irie, man.
Everything Irie. I love it. Now fill us in. So you had this meeting, this third meeting, third time is a charm. Let us know Let us know. What?
Wow.
Tell you what go on.
I was Monday. I'm just riding around. I say I'm gonna stop in this branch right here and see what they got going on. So I went in the branch, and
So this wasn't scheduled.
this one was not scheduled, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but then we scheduled. So I went to the branch, asked for the wealth manager. He was with someone, so I asked the security, because that's the only other person who was there. Can I get his card? And so he went to get his card, and he gave me the card, and I said, I'll just call him. But as soon as he gave me the card, the client he was with left, and so he said, go ahead and go back with him. So it was just just like that. So I went there, and I told him, my husband and I are looking for a wealth manager. I just want to schedule an appointment with you. So, come in, have a seat. So we sat down, and he started, just talking. He was so kind, just a very kind person. So, I said, I would like to schedule a meeting with you. He said, sure. He pulled up his calendar. He turned his screen around. He said, okay, what day do you want to come? Now, this is Monday, and the next day is Christmas Eve. And so, and when Thursday and Friday scheduled, he had it open. I said, okay, so we can come Friday. And he said, I said, but I see on the schedule, there's no one scheduled on here on Friday. He says, yeah, I don't work that Friday. But I said, okay, well, we could schedule a time when you are going to be here. He said, oh no. You want to schedule? I'll put you in and I'll show up. That is exactly what he said. I'm like, whoa.
Okay.
You got to come in on your day off just to talk to me. And so I come home, I tell Mr. Eyebrow, I'm like, babe, I found him. He's the one. He's like, yeah, okay, we'll see. So we go in on Friday. Yeah, we went in Friday at 12 o'clock.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Was that yesterday? Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. I can't keep up with the time. So we go in, and he comes in. As soon as he walks in the bank, he's like got this big smile on his face. I'm like, wow, look at it. He was so pleasant. And so we went to this office, and the first thing he did when he shook our hands, of course, Mr. Eyebrow was like, yeah, he gave me a real handshake,
No dead fish this time.
Yeah. He also, I forgot to tell you. He also, I say, will I be able to? Can I email you some questions I have? He said, sure. And so when the questions that Thursday, on Christmas Eve, he emailed us back and answered every question on the sheet. He emailed it back. So he was like, okay, yeah, he's doing his homework. So we get there, we're talking, and he says, okay, what are your goals? So I had a list of our goals written down, and we ran them all to him and said, are you going to be able to, do all these things? And he said, yes. And the first question my husband asked him, do you know what an IUL is?
He didn't waste no time.
The first thing, okay, before we get started, he nailed it. The banker, the manager nailed it. Looked at each other like, okay.
And for reference, for folks who don't know what an IUL is, just so you know, it stands for Index Universal Life Insurance Policy. Index Universal Life Insurance Policy. This actual policy is a way whereby you are the bank. You can become your own bank through this policy. I'm just giving you a reference for what it is. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So that was the first plus, because the other guy was clueless. But this guy was on it. I did my FINRA homework, as always. FINRA is my best friend. So he's been 7 years wealth manager. He's young, but he's really smart. He's knowledgeable. He's knowledgeable. He didn't have any disclosures or anything. And he wanted to introduce us to the private client banker, but she was out for the holidays, which we understood. And everything we asked, he just had an answer. Then he wrote out a diagram, and we just said, we threw a number and said, okay, suppose we just threw this out here. Suppose we had $3 million. Suppose we had $5 million. And he just gave us a plan for everything that we asked for. He showed us, he said, do you deal in percentages or, actual money? So he showed us both. He drew out diagrams. If you want short term, if you want median or long term. So we did all that. We went across the board with everything. He didn't leave not one question unanswered. right? And what was it for you with
Well,
him?
I mean, he's very, very knowledgeable of everything where
Mm-hmm.
this is concerned. You know, and what I like about him, he's straightforward. He didn't hold anything back. He gave
Mm-hmm.
up 100%, and I really like. I think he's the one. I really, really like his personality,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, and how he's so willing. And I asked him the same question I asked the last wealth manager at the different branch, same thing,
Okay.
different branch. I said, "What is your accessibility outside of work orders, outside of work hours?" And he
Mm-hmm.
said, "When I leave here, I transfer my work line to my cell phone." So he said, even if
Mm-hmm.
I'm out and about partying, I get a call, I'm going to answer it. I said, wow. And we told him, I said, well, the last guy actually told us that he said, absolutely not. He has a life. And he was shocked.
I didn't know about that one.
Yes,
I
yes.
did. Wow.
He said, absolutely not. I have a life. That's what he said.
Wow. So that was the last one from the previous
Right.
Friday at this. Okay.
Same bank, different branch.
Same bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And our guy, he was like, he sat there with his mouth open. He could not believe that a wealth manager told us that. He couldn't believe it. So it's like he said, it's not the bank, it's the personality, it's the individual. It doesn't matter where you're
Mm-hmm. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's who you. He was just so accommodating for everything and really ready to help. So he scheduled us for January for the private client banker.
From the client. Okay.
Yeah, so we can get with her, and we never ever mentioned currency at all. Never mentioned it. We talked a little about crypto, right?
Mhm.
We talked a little about crypto, and he was like, "Oh yeah, my friend told me to get some Bitcoin. I bought some Bitcoin." He started talking about like
Mm-hmm.
therapy. So we just laughed. Just had a really good time in there, and it just felt right. So when it feels right, and he's just looking so forward to us. He called, he followed up. He sent an email. He did everything that, we're taught in this chat.
Yeah.
What to look for.
So it sounds like he checked off all of the boxes.
Yes, he checked all the boxes. He really did.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
and
I'm sorry. Sometimes it's not the amount of years of experience.
mm-hmm.
This one he had 7 years is not a lot, but what he's telling us, he had a lot of knowledge,
right,
into,
and even showed a screen for something that they're coming up that bank projection for 2025 for that particular bank. And everything that comes with it. It's not even out yet. So he showed us that. I'm like, okay, eventually he's going to break and tell us all the secrets.
Okay. So see, he dangled a carrot in front of you because that's a part of not only you guys establishing your relationship and getting to know him, but he is trying to get to know you before he really opens up.
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, and that's all about establishing the relationship that we really stress. Wiley, I have some questions for them, but I believe you are okay. I see you, Wiley. You have anything you want to chime in here with these two beautiful folks?
No, that's great. I remember them from last week, and the last guy just really kind of blew them off and really didn't give them the time of the day. And now it sounds like they really got somebody who's going to be able to work with them and that they're in sync with. One question I have for them directly. Now that you have your bank and you have this guy and you are prepared, what would you tell somebody out there tonight listening to this, or will hear it later downstream? What would you tell them about this process, knowing what you know now?
First of all, I would say follow the process. You don't skip steps. I mean, we already had establishment with this bank. We've been with them for years, and a few other banks, and they asked us, do we have other banks? We said yes, but don't skip the process. If you follow those, I think it's 1 through 9, then everything will be fine. If you just do that, don't try to go around and try to do shortcuts or send emails out to a wealth advisor who has no idea who you are. Yeah, I'll say follow the process. What'd you say, babe?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, follow the process and everything will work out fine.
I do really appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Enough love. Big up.
Yeah, big ups.
Big up. Yeah. This and that's what it's all about. And Wiley did such an amazing job in providing the blueprint, and then Glass Half Full and Jan compiled the steps and then put those steps with the questions by Wiley. That's the package of the steps that everyone follows, and it works.
Yes, it really works. And if you're apprehensive or intimidated, you just talk to yourself before you go in the bank and tell yourself that you're in charge, that they work.
That's right.
You have to, set yourself up mentally to go in there and do that, so you won't be intimidated when they start. Just like you said, they're doing more of the talking and drilling you. That's not.
They're in control. Exactly. Whoever asks the most questions is in control.
Yes. And I had my whole tablet. I had pages, books, everything written out. And so he was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
how important was it for you to leave the internet verbiage behind?
What did you say, Wiley? I'm sorry.
How important was it for you all to leave the internet verbiage behind on this investment?
Man, tell you would be clowning yourself to go in that bank with all that foolishness that we learned from prior. Telling us and demand this. Are you crazy? Just like you'll get kicked out of your head so fast you wouldn't know what happened. So to have this knowledge walking in, because if we didn't have this knowledge walking in, we really wouldn't know what to do. You're like a deer caught in the headlights, just standing there looking crazy because you really have nothing to follow. So no, please leave the Guru Fufu on Guru Fufu Island. That's
excellent question, Wiley, because sadly a lot of people don't even know that that they have all of this garbage in their heads and it comes out their mouth. They really believe what they're saying is intelligent because they hear it from the gurus all the time and all over the place. They don't even know. But like you guys, following the steps in the process, you don't have to be a finance expert to understand and know how to communicate with these banks. Just follow the steps.
Yes.
And you have
pretending like that you know all this stuff. You just have a regular conversation like we're talking right now. Conversation. Of course, I had my little knowledge from just reading and Wiley wisdom tips and everything. I don't have no real knowledge of it, but
right. Because folks have been like a part of what Wiley was saying also was how with the guru speak is how people go into these banks want to talk about, oh, I know Jamie Dimon is in Iraq and y'all gonna blah, 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 blah. They will look at you like, oh my Lord, here comes one of them guru people.
Here comes another one.
Here comes another one. Get them out of here. Oh, that they'll tell you it's a scam, you know. So, but awesome. We're so happy for the two of you. You're on this journey together as a couple, building your generational wealth. You found the bank and the banker that you're comfortable with. Is beautiful. Now, is this wealth manager at the same bank you're going to exchange?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's all in house.
Yes.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations.
But I'm still going to go to a private firm also.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I did see that. So you're gonna look to establish a relationship at a private firm as well. Absolutely. in the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Absolutely. Very, very wise. Very wise.
One more thing. We really thank you for the foundation that you have set. And without the foundation, we could never ever start building.
That's what it's all about, man. We God gave us with Wiley, Goldilocks, myself, Lady E, the tribe. We're all a part of this foundation together. We're all in this together, man. And so we're just happy to be on this journey with you guys.
Yes, and we appreciate you all, everyone.
Yes, indeed.
She-Hulk is my friend.
I know. That's why we're extra happy for you guys, because we know
Yes,
you're a part of the She-Hulk clan.
yes. Thank you
Awesome.
all so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
All right, God bless.
firm. Yes.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. We're coming to ER and then PR. And ER, if you can unmute.
Hi,
How you doing, young lady?
I'm good. How are you? Hey,
I'm doing
everybody.
great. I'm going to read what you posted in the room. As a matter of fact, I
Okay.
remember when you posted in the room several weeks ago, we had to tell you to become anonymous.
I know.
We didn't want you to become a target after that first update you posted in the room. And then here is the latest update, folks, from ER. She says, just finished a call with a certified financial planner and private client banker from the first tier 1 bank. It was an excellent call, and I have an in-person meeting with them on January the 9th in the new year. They want to do more in-depth look at my future wealth and how we can make it for me and my family. These calls get better and better. As I move forward on this journey, I get more comfortable in what I'm doing and how I interact and communicate with these bankers. Again, thanks to all of you for your help and guidance. You said they even sang happy birthday to you.
They did.
Wow. I love it. Please share with us as briefly and summary as you can.
Okay.
What happened? I remember you've been in a room for a while, and you've been not a long while, but you were getting help from Zach and others in the room as well, right?
Yes, and I was in the room and I was listening to all the calls, and of course I was on the other side of the track for a long time, and I was really confused. I was confused, and I kept.
But you didn't know how confused you were until you
No, I
came over.
didn't. I
Uh-huh.
was so confused to know what to do. And I was listening to get on the calls on Saturday night. I was listening to all the calls, and I was like, okay, they told us not to call the banks, but these people are calling the banks and they're getting their appointments and they're getting stuff done. So I say,
Okay.
I have to do something.
So you mean back on the other side of the tracks, they were telling you don't call the banks.
Yes, because we were going to the redemption centers, and when I was at the redemption center, that was not a redemption center.
Okay, I just want to get clarity on that. You can continue.
So I said I was going to step out and do it. I was nervous because I just listening to something else and then listening to other people, how they have made the process and how far they had come and what they had managed to accomplish. I said, okay, I'm going to do it and see what happens. And I followed all the steps, because you have to follow, in order for it to work, you got to follow all the steps. So I followed all the steps just the way Wiley had them laid out. And it worked. I had a tier 1 bank. I opened up the account. I had to go through the online advisor. I went through him. We had a Zoom. We had a second appointment, was a Zoom. We went over a wealth plan. We adjusted some numbers because I told him I didn't have any information. I was going to come into some money. I didn't know how much, and I did not have a date. So we went over a wealth plan, and we then updated some numbers to make the plan better. And he said he was going to transfer me over to a private client advisor. He told me that the advisor, if they didn't call me within 10 days, to give him a call back. They called me the very next day after the Zoom call. And they had to call me back at 2 because I had an appointment to go to. So we did the 2:00 appointment over the phone, and he had somebody from the retail side of the tier 1 bank in there as well. So I talked to both of them. We went a little bit more in depth as to what I wanted to do. And then we set up a 4th meeting that's going to be in person with the private client advisor and the person from the retail side on January the 9th. That's the first tier 1 bank. The second tier 1 bank, and they answered all of the questions.
All
And
right.
then
The questions about Wiley.
Yes, and I asked some additional questions also. The second tier 1 bank.
Oh, wait.
Answered,
there's more. You got another bank.
Yes.
I didn't know. Go ahead.
I have a second tier one bank. She answered every question and some additional questions that I asked. We had that first meeting, and she's going to put a plan together. And I have a second in-person meeting with her on January the 7th. So I have 2 meetings after the
Wow.
first of the year in the same week. But if you follow the
Wow.
steps, it works.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I followed all of the steps. And the
Hmm.
people and the guys from the tier one bank, they sent me some information to read over. It was a guide to investment services and brokerage products. And they
Okay.
sent me over a client relationship summary. So
Hmm.
they sent me that information over too. So, and I did go on FINRA. I have my
Okay.
reports on my desk for both of those people that I did speak with. I have all
Mm,
that information. So yeah,
nice.
it was good. Yeah.
Nice. 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 So, following the steps, does it not take the guessing out of it? I mean, it does. It just makes it a little easier for you if you
Yes.
just follow the steps.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
in the room the other day when they were talking about the Zim and you're going to have all this money, it never made sense to me. Well, where's all that money coming from?
Oh, you mean when we showed the top 20 richest people in the world, and
Yes.
it showed Elon Musk, which
Yes.
is the richest person in the world at 444 billion.
Right.
So
Exactly.
if you're going to exchange one Zim note, you're going to be richer than
Right.
Elon Musk. Is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like, where's all this money? If I have all this Zim, because they were saying, buy this, this is what you need. But then when I went and looked on the list, I was like, that's not going to work.
So if a million people had Zims, that means a million trillionaires, a million people are going to be richer than the richest person in the world.
Exactly. And where was that money coming from?
Okay. Wiley,
Yeah.
Wiley, this is what, Wiley, you have anything you want to
Yeah,
chime
that's
in?
awesome. She comes into the room. She says, "Hey, I got to do this for myself." She goes out and does it for herself. She's empowered herself, and now she knows very matter of factually
Yep.
that her investment is in with her hands and within her control now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And I just
And
want to say thank you again to everybody that helped me. I really appreciate it because I really was nervous at first because I had to
we
get
knew.
that other stuff. I had to get that stuff out of my head.
Right.
I had to get all that stuff out of me. It's been in my head for like 8 years and I had to get it out
Mm, yeah.
because the more I read the room and listened to the calls, everything you all were saying, it made sense.
Then you went out, then you took what we were saying to you and sharing
Right.
with you, and you applied it yourself,
Exactly.
and you got the results.
Yes. So I have a fourth meeting and a second meeting after the first of the year with 2 tier one banks. And I think
That
I'm going to
is
use both of them.
smart. So you're going to diversify.
Yes.
That's
Excellent.
that is so awesome. I
Yes.
remember Wiley when ER first came into the room, she was apprehensive, she was nervous.
I was.
Uh yeah,
Mhm.
and we just wrapped our arms around you. We were patient with you. You were like we had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You wasn't sure if you wanted to do it. You I remember you very, very well. And it's stories like yours that really, really touch our hearts because you were so nervous. You had to shake off the guru dust.
Yes.
Yeah, that
But
is
I
so
feel a lot
awesome.
better. I'm a lot more confident. So I can go in there and have a meeting with them and talk the same language that they talk and know what I'm talking
Mm,
about.
mm. So you're empowered now,
Yes,
and you feel in control now.
I do. Because I control the narrative, not them.
That's right. You said that with your chest out. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. That's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to be. Go ahead, Wiley.
He's not waiting on no 800 number to be told about some redemption center that gurus have twisted up and misrepresented and everything else. She's got her plan. She's
Right.
enacted it. I love it. I remember when she came to the room, and I
Mm-hmm.
love that she's now just confident enough to go find another one and another one that she's got another meeting with to diversify
Mm-hmm.
and take this back in her own hands. And now she's in her control and empowered to put her
That's it.
future, her financial future, within her own hands, not somebody else's.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. See, that's that mind control cult mentality where you have to keep coming back to someone, wait for someone to tell you when to go exchange, wait for someone to send you a bullhorn notification, wait for someone and their sources to tell you, nah, this is your investment.
Right.
You are the alpha and the omega of this. This is your family, your generational wealth, your blessing. This is what God has destined for you. You don't need someone else to tell you where to go, what to do. When they give you that impression over the last 8 years, the reason for all of that is to keep control of you.
Yeah, that's true. Because they
Well,
told us definitely not to talk to the banks. And I'm just like, these people been to the banks. They got all their stuff set up. Why I can't call the bank?
what entity stepped forward and made all these gurus the mouthpiece of their platforms to say, "Oh, go tell everybody about us, and we're doing this, and we're going to send you an 800 number"? I've seen nobody step forward and say these people all speak for us.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
so sorry for some of those people because you just kind of like what brainwashed. You can't get them to see your point. You've been where they are. You've made a change, and you told them about what you've done and accomplished. And somebody told me you need to go exchange. I was like, exchange where? I say no. This lady said it was on a podcast. She said you can go and exchange right now. I say go ahead and let me know how that works for you.
Well, they're saying it every day. Everybody's
Yeah,
got a new
and
story,
she
kind of
said,
like
I'm finna
Bigfoot.
go. She was like, I'm finna go to the bank. I said, okay, let me know. I say, did you do you exchange? Oh no, I have an appointment. I say, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, it's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy that you took control of your own investment. And there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Yes,
I
it
don't know if
is.
some intentional, some may not be, some may not be intentional. I truly believe some of these people are saying what they're saying to followers. They just believe what they're saying. They don't know what they're saying. They just believe it. And unfortunately, when people do not take control of their own destiny like you did, then they just are sheeple and they're just being led to the slaughter. It's unfortunate. We pray for them, we love them, and we move on. You are making a difference in your own life, in your own family,
Yes.
and you're prepared for this wealth that's coming your way. And we're glad that you crossed the tracks and found us.
And I'm a lot less stressful. I'm not stressed anymore.
Wow. That is very profound what you just said. Because Wiley and I hear this a lot in the room. A lot of people come in the room and they say, oh my God, I no longer have the anxiety and the stress that I had before. They found
It's very
peace.
stressful. It's
Yeah.
very stressful. It's gonna happen today. No, it's not. We heard that a year ago. No.
Every weekend. Yeah.
No,
Well, we're
it gets to be stressful and you just like got to do something else. It's something. This is not right. Something. And when I came into the room, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I can't go
now,
wrong.
now look at you. You just can't go wrong. You just keep going right.
No, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. So, but
Congratulations,
thank
congratulations,
you.
congratulations. It's a pleasure. It's such a joy for us to see your progression from nervous, timid, scared, confused to now saying, I'm in control. It's like Wiley says, what's it? You're the biggest peacock in the bank. You're the biggest peacock in the bank.
So when I have my fourth meeting with the first tier one bank and my second meeting with the second tier one bank, I'll come back in and give an update.
Beautiful. We appreciate it, beloved. We
All
appreciate it.
right. Thank you.
All right. All right. We need a drum roll for this next lady. The next person you all are about to hear from, you haven't heard from her probably in 2 or 3 months. She is one of the trendsetters in the tribe. One of between her and Brunette Grand and the several others, this person you're about to hear from really, really got it going with the banks to the point now we joke and say she has 67 wealth managers, but she probably has 70. This lady is amazing. PR, if you can come to the mic, young lady, if you can unmute. There you go. I just saw. Okay, you can unmute now, PR. PR, you can unmute. I know you got it. I know you can do it, PR. You having some technical difficulties? There you go.
Hi.
Hey.
How is everybody?
All is well. All is well. PR. You folks, I don't even have an update that she posted into the room because her updates are actually very, very confidential. She's posted, like I said, months ago, the beginning of her journey with establishing her relationships with various tier 1 banks. She has now transitioned to private wealth banks also, along with her tier 1 banks that she's established relationships with. No exaggeration. She's had lunches, dinners, meetings with some of the top at the head of these banks. PR, if you could share briefly, we know we're not going to share any names of banks, but we can't even share all of what you've done, who you've been meeting with, who you're going to meet with. But if you can give the people here an update on what you are able to share, please do so, my beautiful lady.
Sure. So I have at this point 5 tier 1 banks where I have completely established relationships with multiple meetings with them. Mm-hmm. So that is done. I followed the steps that Wiley and you have given me. So all is done with 5 banks, major mm-hmm. banks. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about another institution that I worked in the past with, and I say, why not give a call to a private banker that I knew? Mm-hmm. And that led to hi, stranger, how are you? And then it led to a meeting on the golf course, and then it led to multiple meetings. And mm-hmm. I shared with you today something that was really interesting. So mm-hmm. they are considered the world's largest wealth manager under management right now.
Is it 4 trillion?
4 trillion, correct. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 4 trillion. Let me see the thing that, so they're very strong in wealth management in the US, mm-hmm. especially in the high net worth and ultra high net worth categories. Mm-hmm. And let me go further. They are highly specialized in comprehensive services that includes estate planning, tax optimizations, personalized investment strategies, emphasis on long-term relationships with private banking. And they operate in more than 50 countries, mm-hmm. which is really important for me, particularly in Europe, Asia, and in the America. Mm-hmm. Then,
they also have a focus on foreign currency. Correct.
So that's the next leg that I shared with you today, which I didn't know quite honestly until he shared it with me. So they provide foreign currency exchanges services as mm-hmm. part of banking and wealth management offerings. Mm-hmm. These services are tailored to meet the needs of both individuals and corporate clients, including ultra-high net worth individuals who may have international investment, travel requirements, and who handles foreign currency exchanges. So, foreign exchange FX services for individual, currency exchanges for travel or personal use, cash exchanges, UBS. I'm sorry. They allow clients to change major currencies for travel and needs. They can be ordered, of course, at any branch. And then we go to the multiple currency accounts to hold and manage funds in various currencies, reducing the need to frequent currency conversions. And go ahead.
Yeah. And also for people listening, also this particular private institution, they trade they trade foreign currency in the global market.
Yeah. So
that's when you hear Forex. Correct. This particular private institution is one of the major players that moves currency around the country. It trades currency, and also with their role, they have a role in establishing the prices on currency as well. Got it.
Yeah, it says FX spots and forward contracts, spot contracts, immediate exchange on one currency for another at the current exchange rate, forward contracts, FX margin trading. So it's really...
That's their specialty.
Yes, I was not expecting this from this institution whatsoever.
Right. Now, what I would like to ask you is, from the very first time when you began to take the steps that Wiley and myself shared with you in the room, from then until now, what would you say is the number one takeaway, the number one experience that you are grateful for between then and now?
Just to be able to have taken that first step, that step of confidence, to actually listen to you when we first DM each other. You asked me to do the very first thing, which was with a tier 1 bank, and it was jackpot on the first day. So that gave me the confidence to be at this point today where I am at number 5 and going on to more with multiple meetings. And it's just like, it's just unbelievable. And the more I'm into it and the more I learn, I mean, that latest institution blew my mind because I had no idea.
Yeah, I and Wiley, if you're able to chime in, I wasn't even thinking that institution would be a player until you mentioned it. And I know you and Wiley speak a lot. Wiley, you want to chime in here?
I was just thinking Jamie Dimon walks into a bank and mentions DINAR's name.
Right. He walk in and ask for her.
Right.
Wait, but that was not that institution. That was another one. But that's funny. Right? That was funny. But I mean, this gentleman is really at a high level. And when ask him, what is your position on exchanges, on foreign exchange and FX, and he went on and on and on. So I was blown away. Like it was like I did not expect it.
I have to preface this. I got to set the tone, folks, that you don't know. The person that she's speaking to is the co-founder of the institution.
Yep.
Not just the president, the vice president,
nope.
the co-founder of the bank is who she's at the golf course with and has had meetings with.
Isn't it amazing? We gave just a little, and look how far PR has gone. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, talk about setting the bar high, PR. I mean, you are, I mean, take
It's
no prisoners. You're going for it.
it's
Congratulations.
all your fault, Wiley. And
Oh, okay. I'll take the blame for that.
all your
That's
fault.
right.
You gave me a goal and you told me just go for it. And when I gave him, what if I gave you X amount of dollars to manage? And he said, okay, let's sit down. So there was no fear, and it went really well. And that's when I got all this information. So it keeps on coming, and I will have more. But obviously now this relationship is established, and
I
I mean
love it because every week you're hitting me up. Hey, I visited with this guy this week, and I got a meeting this guy with this guy Thursday, and I'm going to be on the golf course with this guy at the country club on this. And I'm like, man, you do not stop.
But
And I tell
honestly,
you what, I applaud that. You are going to go far. I mean,
Yeah.
you just don't stop. I mean, you're a force to be reckoned with. You truly are. It's beautiful because I don't see it very often. And I applaud you for your tenacity, and you're just wanting to know that you're not leaving anything on the table with your investment. And that's true ownership.
That's right.
thank you. It's all thanks to you. But I think that it's important, not once we have established this relationship, to stay on the top of them and to dig further and to look further. I think that there is never time to stop. So I think at this point, that's it. I may add one more, but I think I'm done. I think that this is it.
You said that before.
Due diligence. You're doing your due diligence. You're not taking my word for it. You're not taking Freedom Fighters' word for it. You're digging in for yourself. You're finding out factually from people who are working in the arena of what you're invested in.
Correct.
Right.
But I have you. So sometimes when I have doubts, I'll ask you some questions, and your contribution is paramount to my confidence into approaching it. So
well, I'm calling you later tomorrow because I need to know who your guy is, because I'm going to have to get a referral.
Oh, I did. Wiley, you know everything already. But you can call me anytime. But this is really good news, because that was really a good surprise. I was really I didn't expect it.
When you are connected to the owner of the bank, who founded the bank, that is a true statement of knowing a banker. The bank of the bankers.
Yes.
And
I'm lucky enough that he lives right here. So I'm really lucky. I'm extra blessed.
Freedom Fighter, you know what she just said that was so profound importance that I think a lot of people might not have caught right there? She's dealing with the founder of the bank, acknowledges that the currency investment is real and is going to happen.
Yep.
No ifs, ands, or buts, folks. You heard it right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. I mean, we're not talking about a small institution here. We're talking huge. Yeah. Yes. So good things are coming.
And that's multiple confirmations that you got, because even at the tier 1 bank early, when you started the journey, you got confirmation from them where they even showed you saw 150 currencies.
I shared the screens with you, the computer screen of the banker with you. You
did.
I mean, how long ago was that? That
was like 2 months ago. Yeah. And then here you are now with an owner of a bank who's confirming the same thing.
Yes, it's even at a higher level. So now I'm lucky. This is like to another dimension. It's really wow.
Yeah. So, congratulations. Beautiful. Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. We're so proud of you. And folks, do not be DMing her, asking her these information. you know what to do when they try you. Let us know.
I will let you know. But thank you again,
but,
Wiley.
But folks, you're welcome. But folks, you can ask her anything in the room openly so others can learn. PR is a tremendous help. She doesn't have any problem helping you in the room openly. Nothing to hide in the room.
Always my pleasure.
All right, beloved. We appreciate you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Oh, you're welcome. We're going to get into these articles, folks. You may want to put your seatbelt on because this is going to get a little bumpy at first. We're going to straighten it out and end this call and end this new year with a bang. All right. Before we get into the article, for those folks that remember several months ago when it was being said all over Guru Land on the other side of the tracks, in the words of ER, on the other side of the tracks, that Iraq, that the rate and the budget will go up and there will be an RV. For those of you in the room who remember that we did a podcast and several times in the room we said no, that is not going to happen. That's now how it works. The budget is what's called an operations and expense budget, and that budget is for the salaries and retirement benefits and also infrastructure projects for the Iraqis. Their salaries and retirement benefits. That's what that budget is. For those that remember that we shared that with you, please raise your hand. I'm going to come to you and unmute your mics for a quick reason. And then actually we're going to drop this article as well. For those of you that can, if you can raise your hands. Okay, Brunette Grand, we got you. Is that the same Manuel out of your? Okay, folks, raise your, if you remember. Okay, all right, Peculiar Ram. Okay, got you, beloved. All right. If Peculiar Ram, Brunette Grand, and String Bean, if you can unmute. Brunette Grand and Peculiar Ram. How you doing, young ladies?
Fine. How are you?
Excellent. What? And then String Bean, we're going to read out for the both of you beautiful ladies. You remember that. You remember you remember Peculiar Ram, and you remember Brunette Grand, right?
Yes.
About that budget is for we mentioned operations and expense is the Iraqi tripartite budget. All right. Okay. Now, String Bean.
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
We got something to show these folks, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All right. And this, folks, this is on the article out of Iraq saying that the exchange rate will not change. The exchange rate will not change. All around DINAR land, people were spooked. People were told, oh my God, they said it's not going to change. But one thing that we noticed is that there has not been any of the so-called intel providers to clarify this article. It's just been hanging out there for 3 or 4 days. And it was intentional that we waited until tonight to bring clarity to this particular article about Iraq not changing the exchange rate. All right. We're going to drop this article into the room. For those that are listening on YouTube, you can click the link at the top of the description and you can meet members like PR, who's established relationships with the founder of the bank. She's gotten multiple confirmations that the RV is going to happen and the RV is moving. ER, who one time was nervous, timid, scared. Now she's on her 2nd, 3rd, 4th wealth manager meetings. She's in control. Mr. and Mrs. Eyebrow, their 3rd time is a charm, where they've met with their bankers. They have made the decision of whom they're going to exchange their currency with and who is going to manage their generational wealth. There's a link in top of the description. You can click the link and join these beautiful people and many others just like them. As a matter of fact, also, there's going to be a second link in the description that is going to be the link directly to the CBI where you can see the rate for yourself directly from the CBI. No guru foo-foo rate, piggly wiggly rate, none of that garbage. Kurdistan, Texas rate, all this foolishness directly from the CBI. You'll see it. Click the link at the top of the description. Now, we're going to drop this into the room. This article right into the room. We're going to put it right in there. All right. For those that want to follow along, you can read this article, and then what I'm gonna do, because this is a WordPress, I'm gonna drop also in the room the Arabic version as well. For those that may want to translate and confirm, this is receipts from the actual Arabic news site. Okay, I just dropped that into the room. Now, garlic string beans. If you can read the title of the article, then we'll get into the article itself about Iraq will not change their exchange rate. Go ahead.
Okay. Parliamentary finance decides the exchange rate of the country will not change.
Okay. People freaked out on the internet when they read this. They heard this, but there's been no explanation for it because the people that are always pumping every date, every weekend, all this stuff, they have no clue. As a matter of fact, while I'm on the topic, there's several that Goldilocks is the source of intel for a lot of people in DINAR land, but they switch and flip what Goldilocks puts out and then bash Goldilocks afterwards. But they couldn't put anything out on this article because Goldilocks intentionally didn't touch it. Because Goldilocks only typically touches on what comes from the CBI. So now you heard String being read. Parliamentary finance decides the exchange rate of the country will not change. The gurus haven't touched on it. We're going to now let's get into the article and we're going to explain to you all what this is talking about. Go ahead, String B.
The Parliamentary Finance Committee revealed the number of employees, retirees, and beneficiaries of social welfare, stressing that their salaries are fully secured for the next year, with no intention to change the dollar exchange rate.
Okay, I'm going to read that real quick. The Parliamentary Finance Committee revealed the number of employees, retirees, and beneficiaries of social welfare. This is about in Iraq, stressing that their salaries are fully secured for next year, 2025, with no intention to change the dollar exchange rate. Go ahead.
The member of the committee, Moeen Al-Kazimi, stressed, quote, the need to increase non-oil revenues to alleviate the burden on the general budget.
Alleviate the burden on the what?
General budget.
Peculiar Ram, Brunette Graham, if you can unmute. We're getting warm. Do you remember?
Yes.
You remember about the budget we told y'all about a few months ago when the gurus were saying, oh, the budget, the rate is going to go up, the budget. Remember?
Yes, I remember.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now we're really going to get juicy into this article so people can understand what Iraq means about not raising the exchange rate. Okay, you can go ahead, Garlic String Beans.
Al-Kazimi stressed that the government is working to enhance revenues from non-oil sources such as taxes, customs, the Information and Communications Authority, and winning companies and state departments, in addition to the collection of water, electricity, and other services.
Okay, pause. Now they're talking about the collection of taxes, customs, revenue from the various Iraqi government sources such as electricity, water, communications, so forth and so on. Okay. Now it gets even better. Go ahead. Now, don't forget, y'all, they said there will not be a change in the exchange rate. Go ahead, String Bean.
He pointed out that non-oil revenues can reach 30 trillion dinars in 2025, in addition to 120 trillion dinars of oil revenues, which makes the total revenues sufficient to secure the salaries of employees of 4.2 million employees and the salaries of retirees, who number up to 3.5 million retirees, pointing out that allegations for these salaries amount to 65 trillion dinars during 2024, and it is expected not to witness a significant increase during the next year.
Okay, pause. It says he pointed out that, and follow me, string bean, because I'm asking for your help. He pointed out, now this is a member of the Parliamentary Finance Committee. He pointed out that the non-oil revenues can reach 30 trillion dinars in 2025, in addition to 120 trillion dinars of oil revenue. Remember, folks, this is talking about the budget, which makes the total revenues what, string bean?
Sufficient
To secure the salaries of who?
Employees
And the salaries of who?
The salaries of retirees.
And this is from the general budget, folks, where it's saying that the revenue for 2025, the non-oil revenues and the oil revenues is sufficient enough to secure the salaries of the employees and the retirees. And this is coming from the budget. So you can read the very last sentence, please.
The one I just read, or the final one?
The final one.
Okay. Al-Kazemi also explained that the beneficiaries of social welfare will reach 5 million beneficiaries, stressing the importance of following a rational fiscal policy to increase non-oil revenues and ensure financial stability while keeping the dollar exchange rate unchanged.
So keeping the exchange rate unchanged. Well, why they will keep the dollar exchange rate unchanged? They will not, there's no need to change the exchange rate. Why? Because the non-oil revenues and the oil revenues are sufficient to secure the salaries. So basically, folks, what it's saying, there's no need to have a rate change when the revenues, the profit, the money coming into their books for next year is sufficient enough to cover the salaries of the Iraqis and the retirement benefits. So yes, there's no need to the exchange rate, the dinar won't change. There's no need to cover the salaries. The salaries are already covered from the revenues they have coming in. That's all this is saying. But the first sentence tells us from the Parliamentary Finance Committee revealed the number of employees, retirees, and beneficiaries of social welfare, stressing that their salaries are fully secure for next year, meaning there's no need to be concerned. The money's coming in with no intention to change the dollar exchange rate. The member of the committee said the need to increase non-oil revenues to alleviate the burden on the budget. Folks, the budget has enough revenue. They already can account for enough revenue coming in 2025 from non-oil revenues and oil revenues to pay for the salaries of the employees and the retirees, which here in the United States, we call it Social Security. The budget covers salaries and Social Security for the Iraqis. So when it says that the rate of the country will not change, absolutely it will not change. No need to. Why? Because they got enough money coming in next year from oil and non-oil revenues. Now, on top of that, the Parliamentary Finance Committee, it is a committee The CBI is responsible for changing the exchange rate in Iraq, which will come from supply and demand. I mentioned several months ago that the budget will cover salaries and the social welfare benefits of the Iraqis. The rate, if, let's say, for example, if the Parliamentary Finance Committee says, hey, there's not enough revenue that we can account for next year, we're not going to be able to pay the salaries of the employees and the Social Security benefits. They'll have to go to the CBI to do an audit of their budget and the books. Then the CBI will have to agree for the difference in the rate change in order to cover for the salaries and the Social Security benefits of the Iraqis. So all this is saying, there will not be a rate change because there's no need to change the rate when the money is going to be there next year from the oil and non-oil revenues. The RV, the rate for the dinar to revalue, will not come from the budget, this particular budget, because it's called an operations and expense budget. The operations is how much it costs to operate the government. The expense is the salaries of the employees to run the government. Wherever you live in a town, a village, city, here in the United States, wherever you live, you have a city council. You have employees that work for your municipality. You have firefighters, police officers, you have ambulance, you have the electricity company, the water department. Those are expenses to your local municipality. Those are expenses to Iraq and any municipality. If your local municipality didn't have enough money coming in next year, enough revenue coming in next year to pay for your police, to pay for your ambulance, to pay for your water department, sewer department, electricity department, you know what they would do? Go back to the city council and say, hey, we don't have enough money to pay for our police and firefighters. What they'll do, they'll raise taxes by 1% maybe, 0.25% maybe, and then boom, it'll cover for their salaries. Iraq is just saying they don't need to change the rate, the dinar, to do it because it's covered. The Parliamentary Finance Committee is not the decision maker. The rate for the Iraqi dinar revalue is not coming from the budget. That was completely guru foo-foo, got you all wrapped up in your feelings, making you think it was real. Nope. The rate will come from, and Goldilocks has been sharing this over and over and over and over again. And this is why you have many of these so-called intel providers, wannabe gurus telling you, oh, don't go listen to Goldilocks. Goldilocks doesn't know what Goldilocks talking about because they don't want you to realize that they are getting their information from Goldilocks and spinning it so that you don't find the truth. Now we're going to touch on that in a minute. So, Peculiar Ram, my beautiful brunette grand, does this now make sense to you after reading this article?
Absolutely. Actually, in the group, when it was posted yesterday, I had this whole conversation in my head and I was going to post it in the chat, but I didn't want to ruin everything. But
you figured it out yesterday.
I absolutely caught on as soon as I read it and actually looked at the sentences and broke it down and seen what they were talking about. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, interesting. So I kind of locked it in the back of my head. But yeah, I was right there with you.
It's just they don't need to change. They don't need to change the rate because the money is there to pay for the salaries and the Social Security benefits of the Iraqis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's literally no need.
No need.
No, that's why the dinar rate was never supposed to be in the budget.
Exactly right.
Like everybody else states that. There's no.
Yeah.
That's not what it's for.
That's not what it's for. And people believe what these gurus are telling them, told them about the budget when Sadani returns from the U.S. He's going to just tell them to raise the rate. It's going to show on the budget. It's going to show in the Gazette. And now, ladies, you remember a few weeks ago, we showed you the Constitution.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, in fact, Ram, you read that with me. You ladies saw it. It can't even the rate can't even go up. Can't even go into the Gazette. It's laws that go into the Gazette.
Oh yeah, that's been a thing too. The Gazette. But oh my goodness.
So and it's too late now. Now that we've shared this on the call and brought clarity to this about the rate not changing. Now the gurus can't go out and repeat it because we waited to share it on this call. But if they would have talked to you, Peculiar Ram, or you, Brunette Grand, yesterday, you both figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's excellent, Freedom Fighter.
So this can kind of quell some fears of folks who saw that and they've had no clarity for the last 2 or 3 days since it's been sitting out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate you. Well, I know y'all were on top of this.
I appreciate you, Freedom Fighter.
All right, beloved. Now, speaking, we're going to do a little detour before we get into these articles where we're going to show Iraq Connect to the QFS. We're going to show how background checks will be at your exchanges, and you're going to get it. There's going to be what's called a unique number that you're not going to get the number. When you do your exchange in the new quantum financial system, there's actually going to be a number that's going to follow your exchange. And that number is for the purpose of tracking to make sure that your exchange amount is correct. Your transactions are secure. So if you're expecting a 3 million in your exchange and all of a sudden you have 2.5 million, they'll be able to track in the system through a unique number to make sure that you're made whole with your exchange. This is actually a law that went into effect yesterday that Goldilocks provided. And it's posted in the Federal Register, which is the electronic version of the Iraqi Gazette. We're going to show that to you. Then we're going to finish it off with the global GCR. But before that, we're going to do a little detour. It's a little different, but we're going to do a quick detour. I'm going to post something into the room. For those that are following on YouTube, you won't be able to see this, but you can hear this. Stream Bean, I just posted a picture of a very powerful person globally in the room. What does it say? Well, it says what? Who this person is.
Crown Prince announces King Salman International Airport.
Okay. Crown Prince. Then I'm going to post this into the room for those that, and just follow me, folks. I have to do this because we're very patient. We're very, very kind. We're very loving. I'm going to give someone some tough love right now. And that's why I'm posting this into the room. Now I'm posting a link into the room, which shows the Crown Prince. His name is King Salman. He's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. I'm posting his as a link. If anyone clicks that link, in fact, I'm going to share this link on the podcast. It's very important. If someone clicks the link, it's going to show you a bunch of different pictures of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And as a matter of fact, folks, there is a guest on this call tonight who regularly speaks to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. We've asked them to attend this call for a reason. See, folks, you have to be careful in not only what you're posting and who you follow on these channels. This is the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. There is someone that regularly posts on social media that they're boots on the ground in Iraq, mainly Twitter. And the individual claims to be boots on the ground in Iraq, but they're using this picture that I posted into the room. They're using the avatar of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. So if you're boots on the ground in Iraq, oh, you just post the person that has a turban on his head and you're claiming you're boots on the ground in Iraq, not knowing that people are paying attention who are connected to the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia, from whose avatar you're using, claiming you are boots on the ground in Iraq. No, it's not illegal. But it is well known that you and another person, or maybe others, who regularly come to Goldilocks' room to grab Goldilocks articles, and you post them on Twitter and you twist it to your narrative. Remember, I said Goldilocks is the intel source for several people? Well, there's another gentleman, maybe lady, I don't know what pronoun they might use, but in the old room, they used to come to the room, take Goldilocks articles, and literally post them on Twitter, word for word, and other channels, but take Goldilocks' name off and put their own. Yep, plagiarizing. Wow. As a matter of fact, there's another, the same person I had to block from the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room last week. They typically come to get articles from Goldilocks, post them, take Goldilocks' name off, and put their name on. They've gotten so sophisticated to where what they'll do is and we've noticed when Goldilocks posts, let's say, for example, on a Monday about a specific topic, 2 or 3 days later, these persons post the same thing with just their own spin on other social platforms. So they're getting their information from Goldilocks. So the person that's using the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia's avatar, you don't realize that you're only fooling the people that believe the foolishness that you're putting out. Why would you use the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia's avatar, but you're boots on the ground in Iraq? We know you're not boots on the ground in Iraq. And you and this other person that plagiarizes Goldilocks, and you yourself do the same thing. The two of you have this bromance where you're sucking each other's nipples on Twitter. And now we're gonna call you nipple suckers. And all you're doing is fooling people to give them the impression that you're boots on the ground in Iraq. No, you're not. There's a person that is literally on this call right now that is connected to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. So for those that click the link that has been shared into the room, you will see the exact same picture that the person on Twitter is using as their avatar. Now, what I would like to do is extend an olive branch to you two or more that constantly come and grab Goldilocks articles, twist to put a different spin on it, then turn around and bash Goldilocks. Goldilocks didn't know I'm doing this tonight, but I'm doing it because I felt it was time. You bash Goldilocks. What you're doing is you don't want people to know that you're getting your information from Goldilocks. So you bash Goldilocks so they don't come to the room. That's okay. What I would encourage you to do, if you really are for the people, continue to take Goldilocks' information and post it in your rooms, but just leave it as the truth. Because we want the people to know the truth. So just take Goldilocks articles. Go ahead, take them. Take all of them. Post them in your room. But leave them as they are. Don't twist them. Don't flip them like you've been doing and putting your own. If you want to put your own name on it, fine. Just as long as you leave the information that Goldilocks provides as it is. Everyone deserves the truth and the facts that Goldilocks puts out. Don't just have Goldilocks information to yourself and you twist it to your narrative to have mind control over your people, to make them think you're boots on the ground in Iraq and you got all this information. We know that Goldilocks is your source because every time Goldilocks posts in 2 or 3 days, you're posting what Goldie posts and just twisting it. So, you nipple suckers with your bromance, why don't you just allow your people to learn the truth? As a matter of fact, why don't you invite them to the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room so that we can help them establish relationships with their bankers and prepare for this generational wealth? Why don't you do that? Because the people in the room are taking advantage of that information. And you've heard tonight how people have peace. No more of the anxiety, the confusion. Well, gentlemen, ladies, whatever you are, you're contributing to that anxiety. Why don't you just invite them over to us? Let us help them. Why don't you share Goldilocks articles, leave the information as it is so people can wake up? And if all of a sudden you change your avatar, that's going to say a lot too. Too late. It's out there. All right, nipple suckers. All right, we're going to get into the first article, garlic string beans.
Okay.
Are you ready? I know we kind of took a detour. You're probably giggling. Wiley, let me ask you a quick question. Wiley, if you can unmute, what do you think about this? I know Wiley's going to have me laughing.
Yeah, this is just same old for 20 years here. Freedom fighter. It doesn't change. It's just somebody new doing the same thing to somebody else. It's just rehash. And this goes on for years because people truly don't have those connections they say they do. Yep. I spent time in Kurdistan dealing with the president there, and I'm telling you, it got out that I was dealing with it, and other gurus are saying, yeah, we're talking to President Barzani too, which was a wow. I mean, you don't understand. The Middle East culture does not like that at all. It's hard to do business with people like that when you're lumped in with those folks that are doing that deceiving. Right. It's sad. Everybody deserves the truth. They really do. Could you imagine what this community would be like if everybody was honest and on the same page and truly helping people for the real reason of helping people, not trying to glean an audience or do it for adulation or a profit? I mean, just help the people. That's it. And, we have these new age millennial gurus on Twitter with their Twitter fingers, very sophisticated. They can put an avatar up of someone of another country and say that they're in boots on the ground. People won't even know it. But we are two folks. There's relationships here that, you have Wiley just told you he's connected in Iraq, has been, worked there, was a contractor there, connected to the president of the region. There's other people that are here that pay attention. They're watching. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Someone is on this call and they know who they are. We send you much peace and love. We thank you for being on the call. They're watching. They're paying attention. I didn't want to do this, but I said, well, you know what? It's gone on too long. It's for the people. It's not against you personally. You two bromance, or you nipple suckers. You're on Twitter. You're sucking each other's nipples. And I keep saying it because I'm being funny, but I'm being serious. It's not about you. It's about the people. If you truly loved and cared for the people, you would do the right thing. You may not have it in you, but that's okay. Now, we just had to go ahead and put it on out there.
And I hope you all, and this link is going to be on the podcast so people can see the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and the actual same photo that you photoshopped and made as your avatar, telling people that you're some Iraqi boots on the ground. All those dates that you call the RV. Now, folks, you realize you're being swindled by a millennial Jim Jones who has a bromance with another person who has a history of plagiarizing Goldilocks. And they just suck each other's nipples on the internet, on Twitter. All right. So let's jump into I don't know where I come up with this stuff, garlic stream bean, but I'm sorry. All right. Let's get into this let's get into Iraq and show what Iraq is showing as of this week. This article may be posted in 2 or 3. Oh, no, what? Yeah, this may be posted in 2 or 3 days. They'll put their spin on it, saying they're boots on the ground. But we're gonna go ahead and give it to you guys. All right. If you can, garlic stream bean, I believe you're going to read with folks. The first 4 sentences. I appreciate it, beloved.
Okay. His Excellency, the Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Mr. Ali al-Alak, announced the launch of strategic projects to support digital transformation in the country.
And remember, folks, just 3 weeks ago, Goldilocks shared that directly from the Gazette, they passed the law, the Digital Regulation Law number 2. And now here we have 3 weeks later, the CBI governor saying that they're launching the transformation of the digital transformation in the country. And you're going to read here soon, listen soon about them connecting to the QFS. Go ahead.
Here we go. As we have been discussing in this room for the last 4.5 years, the Iraqi banking system is about to populate its banking system to banks all over the world. It will be done digitally. Iraq is telling us through the CBI their intentions are to begin the process of implementation of their new digital financial services. Yes, digital financial services, DFS, can include foreign currencies such as cryptocurrencies and stablecoins.
Ooh, cryptocurrencies and what?
Stablecoins.
Do y'all remember RLUSD stablecoin, Ripple stablecoin? Iraq has been partnered with Ripple earlier this year. You see all this coming together? Yes, digital finance services can include foreign currencies such as cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. Cryptocurrency. So this is Iraq connecting. They are telling you they're implementing, they're launching the mechanisms to connect to global banks around the world digitally. And it includes foreign currencies, cryptocurrencies, and stablecoins. Digital financial services, also known as financial technologies or fintech, they're financial services, folks. And examples of digital services that Iraq will be utilizing includes online banking, instant payments, peer-to-peer lending, digital wallets. This is all stuff they've never done before. Payment apps such as PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, Visa, MasterCard. Folks, this is Iraq Connect, and this is directly from the CBI that they're connecting to global banks digitally, and it will include foreign currency, the dinar, and other foreign currencies that Iraq will trade with. It includes cryptocurrencies and also stable coins. Folks, this is the connection point of Iraq, and we shared by Goldilocks last week, where Iraq announced that they have disconnected from the electronic platform. They ended the parallel market and connecting to the global international market. And real quick, as a summary on the parallel market, For those that may not have been on the call last week and don't understand, when Iraq disconnected from the parallel market, a quick summary of what the parallel market is. Just imagine Iraq has a legal financial system, a legal banking system where the Iraqi dinar operates inside of Iraq, and then in parallel to it is an illegal market. I'm going to repeat that. There's a market, the financial system where the Iraqi dinar operates by the CBI in Iraq, and in parallel to it is a whole nother financial market, which is the illegal market. That market, called the parallel market, also was connected to the CBI, where, for example, the CBI allowed it. There was an actual place, for example, where you can get Iraqi dinars legally at the CBI at the front door, go to the back door, and there's a parallel market that have access to the dinar from the back door. And that choked the value of the Iraqi dinar since 2003 with the invasion. And the amazing Jan asked the question last week, was it the United States that started the parallel market in Iraq? It sure was. And it was the United States that signed off to end the parallel market in the currency auction window as well. This is why Iraq is telling us now they're connecting to the quantum financial system. Now, does that make sense? Garlic String Bean?
Yes.
All right, beloved. Now, we are going to we are going to touch on two folks, you must pay attention to what we're about to share with you directly from the CBI. Many of you were not here. You weren't on these calls to hear this, but we're going to share it with you that there will be background checks when you go to exchange your currency. It'll be done instantly. It'll be done electronically. This is a new law that went into effect this year. Okay. Ready, String Bean?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Due diligence procedures in inquiring about customers of exchange companies category A and B and brokerage companies that buy and sell foreign currencies.
Okay, 1 second, beloved. Folks, this is directly from the CBI. Due diligence procedures in inquiring about the customers, meaning you, meaning me, meaning us, of exchange, and also Iraqis, exchange companies category A, B. Folks, the Iraqi dinar was at one time classified as a category of D or C. Just think of a grade. Goldilocks shared over 2 years ago that Iraq was going to change this, and they were going to upgrade from a C to an A. Fast forward the beginning of this year. This article that String Bean is reading is from May the 16th of this year, where Iraq announced that the dinar is a category A. Category A, folks, is the category for all major banks to be able to exchange that category of a currency in their financial institutions. The Iraqi dinar has been upgraded as of May of this year to category A in preparation. Okay, go ahead. You can brokerage companies. You can go ahead, String Bean.
Brokerage companies that buy and sell foreign currencies with Iraq and their new registered A and B categorization of the Iraqi dinar have been given due diligence procedures.
Meaning, folks, that now that the dinar has been reclassified and registered with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, as a category A currency, there are new procedures, due diligence procedures, which is background checks on individuals that will be exchanging their currency. This law went into effect and goes going live. Okay, you can go ahead, String B.
Due diligence procedures includes information gathered about the clients who are participating in an exchange.
Folks, 1 second, beloved. Folks, you may not realize, but this is what Goldilocks has been sharing about anti-money laundering. Iraq has been very, very focused, and this is all about going digital. They were very focused on not allowing terrorists to access these large exchanges in Iraq. That's what was a part of the digital transformation, because terrorists run rampant and wild using paper dinar, paper US dollars all throughout Iraq. Now it's becoming, the banking system is digital. It makes it very difficult for them to do so with terrorist activity. But the United States also implemented the same procedures, the same laws. And we're going to touch on that next, because they don't want people, not only terrorists, but if your background is sketchy, you may have a challenge in exchanging your currency. Many of you have been told, oh, go to the redemption center. When you hear the dog whistle blow, you go to the redemption center and redeem your bonds and exchange your currency. Folks, you don't even know. For one, you don't know those places don't exist. But for two, there's a background check. They don't just want anybody coming into this wealth. And if you're not prepared, if you don't have a structure in place, let's say, for example, this is not an actual real example. I'm going to just use it and you all will understand what I'm trying to say. Let's say, for example, you got too many speeding tickets. No, I'm not saying that literally. But let's say it raises a red flag. There's something that will raise a red flag. I'll use that. If there's something that will raise a red flag for your exchange, if you're not properly prepared, will you even be able to exchange? The Piggly Wiggly won't be open on exchange day, folks. If you're not prepared, see, you're following a lot of people who aren't preparing you with the truth. Our members who have the relationships in place, they know where they're going to exchange. They know they even have their structures in place to build their generational wealth, or even they're going to make money from their exchange. Like Wiley says, every dollar should have a job. Many of you don't even realize the possibilities. And you don't even realize there's going to be a back. See, instead of being fearful about this, look at it as an opportunity. Look at it as additional confirmation that they're actually preparing for the exchanges, and they don't want criminals to come into large amounts of money. Uh-oh. There's a lot of folks that folks pay attention to and listen to and follow that won't make it to the exchange. Whoops. All right. So let's get to the next one. Stream Beam. I'm being a little petty, but I feel like it tonight.
Oh, you want me to read that last sentence in there?
Yes, if you can, please do so.
It includes background checks, risk assessment, and more.
All right. Now, again, this is from the CBI, folks. You can do what you can believe the guru foo-foo. You just go redeem at the redemption center, where they exchange your nickels, quarters, and dimes. And go ahead, see how that works out for you. Or you can come and get prepared and get your structure in place for your generational wealth, knowing how to be ready. All right. Now I am this next. I'm going to read this next one.
Okay.
All right. And folks, this goes along with now what we just shared for background checks for your exchange. This next one is additional measures to assure that not only criminals aren't exchanging large amounts of money, But this also is in place, what Goldilocks is sharing. That is a law that went live yesterday, whereby everything will be traced and tracked. But this is for our benefit in the quantum financial system on the blockchain to make sure, again, just like your exchange amount is accurate and you expect 4 million, that it's going to be 4 million. If something disappears, they'll be able to track it. What this next information we're sharing from Goldilocks, this is what's called this is from the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. This was an actual final rule, and it states the Securities and Exchange Commission is adopting a rule and form amendments concerning access to and management of accounts in the commission's electronic, think digital folks, the electronic data gathering analysis and retrieval system. The acronym is called EDGAR or EDGAR, electronic data gathering and analysis retrieval, EDGAR. And it's related to technical changes which are implemented as of yesterday into the quantum financial system. The final rule started yesterday, but exchange companies and banks have until March the 24th next year to be compliant. But this law went into effect yesterday. Majority of them are already on board. So EDGAR, which is next, it's an updated version to the Securities and Exchange Commission. All this is an electronic filing for Form ID. There will be a unique number. When you exchange, there will be a unique number that is assigned to you in the quantum financial system. No, it's not a number you're going to write down and take with you. This will be done in the banking system. It is a unique identifier. Think of it as a social security number or identifier for your exchange. So once you exchange your currency, no matter the transactions that you participate in after that, that unique number, for those of you who are into cryptocurrency, you have a digital wallet. Think of KYC, know your customer, where this unique number is unique to you. So you exchange, that number will be there in the banking system, in the quantum financial system. You go and you exchange again, that number will follow you. It will track to make sure. Let's say you exchange. Let's say you're with your investment firm. You're expecting $200,000 return monthly from your investment, from your exchange, monthly income. All of a sudden, $100,000 is missing. That unique number will be able to attract and identify where that other $100,000 is and why it's missing, where it's at. You expect 4 million from your exchange. It's only 3 million. This will track where that other million is at. This unique number is the banks are responsible for this number. It's a reporting system. It's called a Form ID. So think of it as a unique number that goes onto the blockchain, goes onto the quantum financial system to make sure that your transactions are protected. So this is a mandated electronic filing for Form ID, means that companies or banks involved in foreign currency exchanges are required by law to submit this Form ID electronically through the EDGAR system, which stands for Electronic Data Gathering and Analysis. And yes, it's for transmissions and for the regulatory bodies and applies to foreign currency transactions. Special note that Goldilocks sharing, this will secure our foreign currency exchanges in the quantum financial system. For those of you who have this fear porn that's been pumped into you about the new system, this is why it's in your best interest to come into the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room and obtain the knowledge to have a structure in place to protect your investment, to have a structure in place to be prepared for your exchange versus believing that the dog whistle will come and then you'll just run to the wherever you've been told, to these places that don't exist to exchange your currency with no regulations, no proof, no confirmation that these places exist that you've been told where you're going to exchange. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. For those that, plagiarize Goldilocks and just copy what we're doing in the room, they're telling their people that, get wealth managers. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're repeating that now too. Just have those people come to us. We will help them to get prepared. All right. So now we are going to go to the GCR. This is the whole entire, for those of you who have multiple currencies other than the dinar, currencies outside, you have the dong, you have the bolivar, whatever currencies you hold. This next information that Goldilocks is sharing is about all of the currencies in the preparation for 2025. Folks, when it comes to inflation, what this is that we're going to share. This is the setup for the GCR. This is where central banks around the world are all connected and communicating with each other. And they're all on the same page. The Central Bank of Iraq, the Federal Reserve Bank in the U.S., the Central Bank for Vietnam, and all these other central banks that govern the currencies that we hold. All of the central banks are communicating. They have been communicating. They have been preparing for the RV. Now, my amazing garlic string bean, what I would love for you to do is we're going to get to this last one. If you don't mind, you can begin according to current economic forecast.
Okay. According to current economic forecast, 2025 is expected to see significantly lower global inflation rates compared to recent years, with most predictions pointing towards a continued decline in inflation levels, reaching a low rate by 2025.
Okay, folks, lower inflation in a country strengthens the currency of that country. And when you have the central banks from around the world that are collectively preparing to lower inflation rates, this here is the global economic outlook, which covers every country and every currency. This shows what Goldilocks is sharing, shows a collaborative effort for countries and central banks around the world to prepare to lower inflation around the world, which actually will strengthen the currencies of every country around the world. Go ahead, String Bean.
This is largely attributed to central bank monetary policy tightening and a gradual easing of supply chain pressures.
Oh, this reminds me. This article that Goldilocks shared came out on Christmas Eve, I believe, the 24th. 2 days later, one of the nipple suckers on Twitter posted about inflation rates. I wonder where he got it from. Okay, you can continue.
Key points about 2025 inflation expectations. Lower overall inflation. The IMF and OECD project a significant drop in global inflations with figures around 4.5% for 2025.
This said a significant drop in what?
Global inflation.
Global inflation, folks. This is every country, every currency around the world will be affected by global inflation rates projected to lower. Okay, go ahead. Central bank impact.
Tight monetary policy implemented by central banks across the globe is expected to be a major factor in bringing down inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Gradual decline. Inflation is projected to decelerate steadily throughout 2024 and decrease into 2025.
So this means, folks, that the global inflation rate will continuously drop. As it drops down, currency values will become stronger. Go ahead.
A lower inflation rate in a country generally leads to a stronger exchange rate for its currency, meaning it would be worth more compared to other currencies, as low inflation indicates greater purchasing power and stability in the economy, making investors more likely to hold that currency.
1 second. I love that. Folks, for those of you who have the dinar, Iraq just recently reported, and the IMF also recently reported, the stability in Iraq. The stability in Iraq, large in part because they have eliminated the parallel market. It stabilizes the dinar. Other countries around the world are projecting more stable economies. Hence the global inflation rate decreasing. This is all setting up. This is a setup for what's to come with the GCR in 2025 with a global initiative, a global projection, forecast of inflation to decrease. Go ahead, call it Stream B.
As several exotic currencies move into tradable currencies in 2025,
move into new tradable currencies.
They will be in a suitable environment for growth as new market correlations form with their entrance into the new digital economy.
I love it. It says, as several exotic currencies move into new tradable currencies. Folks, an exotic currency is one that, let's say, is not international, is not on Forex. As several exotic currencies, and there are others, move into tradable currencies. See, folks, the dinar will eventually become tradable in the global market. So as several exotic currencies move into new tradable currencies in 2025, they will be in a suitable environment for growth as new market correlations, meaning new pressure on those currencies, new investors in those currencies. Folks, just about every country around the world holds dinar. We went over this last week. So it's stating that as these new correlations form with these currencies' entrance into the new digital economy. Okay, go ahead. As countries begin
to work together on lowering inflation inside a local currency regimen, where one goes, we all go, becomes a global theme. This sets the tone for a level playing field for all currencies being introduced into the market.
Boom. Folks, this is the blueprint of a global RV that we call the global currency reset, where all countries collectively are moving on one accord, whereby it's already shown. And these are numbers, these analyses have already been done by the International Monetary Fund. And the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and also the World Bank are a part of the Bretton Woods. The International Monetary Fund also did what's called an Article 4 consultation for Iraq earlier this year, showing Iraq's stability. They also did, the IMF, did an Article 4 consultation for Vietnam, showing their strength and stability. And here the IMF is a part of making sure that they put out the forecast for global inflation that will decrease throughout the world with all countries, thus strengthening the currencies of those countries, which will also make investors more suitable, more attracted to invest in those currencies. Well, we know majority of these countries around the world have already invested in dinar because they know what's coming. They have dinar in their reserves and gold because they know what's coming. So here we have, as countries begin to work together on lowering inflation inside a local currency regimen, where one goes, we all go, becomes a global theme. This sets the tone for a level playing field for all currencies being introduced into the global market. This sets the stage for 2025 for the event that we all have been waiting for. So we want to summarize, we have a unique number. It went into law yesterday, into the Federal Register. Remember, for those that may not know, the Federal Register here in the United States, it is the digital archive of all laws that are passed, goes into the Federal Register. Yesterday, the law went into effect where a unique number for our exchanges will be in the banking system. Will follow that number, that unique number will follow us. The banks that will be exchanging your currency. I did not say redemption centers that will redeem anything. I said banks that will exchange your currencies and currency exchange centers. They have until the 24th of March to be compliant, but the law went into effect yesterday. This is for foreign currencies. Then don't forget, for those of you who may not know, January the 1st, capital gains, the IRS law that goes live for foreign currency exchanges. For if your exchange is greater than $200, more than $200 in your return, seek your tax professionals. No need to come to us and asking us what the tax percentage is. All we're doing is sharing with you on January the 1st. This is by the IRS. Is this law. There's no way around it. You can prepare your structure properly, but just think, January 1st, new foreign currency exchange laws go into effect. Just think, yesterday, new law into the Federal Register, the electronic version of the Iraqi Gazette, where only laws go into. Why would they be doing this all of a sudden? New law for foreign currency exchanges by the SEC that went live yesterday to give you a unique number called a form ID. It's a unique number, unique identifier to track transactions in the quantum financial system after you exchange. Why now? Why January 1st? Brand new foreign currency exchange laws go live for gains and losses. Any exchange valued over $200. Why now all of a sudden the forecast for all countries around the world for the global inflation that will decrease and strengthen the currencies around the world? Garlic string bean, you see the setup?
Yes, I do. It's exciting.
The leveling of the playing field, folks, comes right here in the forecast for all countries around the world. See, this shows you don't think Iraq has been preparing for this? You don't think Vietnam has been preparing for this? You don't think the U.S. has been preparing for this? You think it's a coincidence that Trump is coming back in office? You don't think Venezuela, all these countries are preparing for this? for the for their country's inflation rate to decrease, which will strengthen their currencies? You think it's a coincidence for these new laws? If you are not prepared, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a plan in place and you're establishing relationships with the bankers who will exchange your currency and help manage your wealth, if you are going to go into your exchange blindly, you're going to be knocked sideways blindly when you get not such a pleasant surprise when you go to your exchange when it's time to exchange and there is no notifications coming. Have you Googled or whatever browser you want to use redemption center near you? Are you aware of ISO International Standard Organization, ISO 4217, and found what currencies you hold and if it's an active currency or an active quote unquote bond? If it's a collectible bond? Just imagine you go and you think you're going to redeem someplace and you're told when you get there, oh, sorry, this bond is not on the ISO 4217 list. It's not active. It's not recognized in the international banking system. Imagine if you do that and you haven't diversified into other assets, such as currencies or others, that absolutely will raise in value. Are you someone that you believe that you're going to become a trillionaire by investing in Zim and that's it? Is Zim recognized as a real bond in the international banking system from the ISO International Standard Organization 4217 list? The dinar is. The dong is. The Boulevard is. Some of you don't even know that the assets that you hold may or may not be included in the RV. I told you we were going to end the year on a bang. Wiley, you still here, my good man?
Yep, I'm still with you.
I had to let it all out a little bit, my friend.
No, it's all right. It's all good. I'm glad you touched on a lot of the stuff that's kind of hanging out there a bit, especially on the ISO, the background checks, and everything else you talked about tonight. Very important for the folks to know what's coming, what that looks like. And for the most part, I would say that many have a plan. But for those that don't, it's not too late to get one.
Mm-hmm. Folks, we really feel sorry for some of you who have been led astray. You've been told a lot of things with no proof to back it up about some of the assets, bonds that you hold. Places where you're supposed to go. You've heard from several members here in the room tonight. They already have their relationship. They know where they're going to exchange, who they're going to exchange with. They met the people. They have the emails. They even have the cell phone numbers. Hell, we got PR meeting with the owner of a bank at the golf course. String Bean, who you heard from tonight, she has several wealth managers already in place. Am I right or wrong, String Bean?
You're right. You're right.
Folks, we really feel for some of you. Like Wiley said, it's not too late. But as we go into 2025, this event is set up to go up. Many of you who are listening to this have no clue what you're getting into. Many of the members that you heard from tonight and members in the room that you've heard podcasts with, they were exactly where you're at right now at one point in time. Confused. Yes. Were you there once, String Bean?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You confused anymore?
No.
You know where you're going to exchange?
Yes.
You know who you're going to exchange with?
Yes.
You know who's going to manage your wealth?
Yes.
Do you need a dog whistle to tell you anything?
No.
Notification?
No. Stress-free right now.
Folks, you all have the same opportunity as these folks. It is in your best interests as we leave 2024 and we enter 2025. It's in your best interest for yourself and your family. Just imagine you've waited all this long, all these years, and you still have all this stress. The dates being thrown out to you every weekend, every other week. The roller coaster, anxiety. Yep, from several of those who plagiarize Goldilocks and tell you, don't go to Goldilocks' room. I question and no, they don't want you to know what these folks know. They don't want you to know what Stream Being knows. What if it seems like they don't want you to be ready? Like these folks are ready in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room. Do you not deserve it? Does your family not deserve the truth? All right. Wally, anything you want to add, my good man?
Some of these folks have had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meetings with their wealth management divisions who know they have currency. Some have gotten their currencies validated. They know what currencies will be going and which ones the banker said we can't work with. I encourage everybody to start seeking out a banking relationship today. It is in your best interest that you have your own plan, not some internet plan of 800 numbers and call centers.
Yep. That the staff has been on standby for the last 20 years.
Yeah. Working
That's a lot
every
of
weekend. Yeah, who's paying them? Who's paying them?
Hell, they're pretty. They're sitting pretty from all that overtime they've gotten from all the redemption centers and banks on high alert for all these weekends and years.
You know, and I truly believe that some people out there started out as information providers to the best they could, but now they're backed into a corner, have said some things they can't get out of, want to save face. It's never too late. It's never too late to do the right thing.
Right.
Help those folks. Help the people. Be honest.
Yep.
We all know. We see them saying now redemption centers are banks. They're coming clean about that. 20 years too late, but they're finally coming clean on it.
You know, on that, with coming clean about redemption centers, but at the same time, they've told folks that there's a certain so-called bond that can only be redeemed at those redemption centers. So what about those? So what about those bonds now?
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Folks, if it is not on the ISO 4217 list, it is not a valid currency. There is no code within the exchange computing system that allows it to be tradable.
It's not even recognized in the system.
There's no way they could look it up because it won't be tradable. The De La Rue will not even be able to validate it.
Yep. And for those that want to be technical, not just currencies, bonds also.
Yes. And currencies cannot be flipped to bonds. It doesn't happen. They're two different instruments and handled so differently.
Exactly. And folks, a collectible, anything collectible, a collectible bond, collectible currency, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to name it, is not a financial instrument. It's not recognized as such. It's a collectible. We hope that you have diversified. It's in your best interest. I know some people are going to get upset. You don't want to hear this. But if just one, if we help one that wakes up and diversifies so that you're not left surprised when you go to redeem or exchange, whatever you want to call it, I feel sorry for some of you who choose not to know and learn what you really hold. All right. Any last parting comments you have, Wiley, before we leave out for 2024, my good man?
No, I truly wish everybody the best. All those information providers out there as well. I wish them the best as well. It's just nothing but love for them. I wish they would do more for the people than what some do, but it is what it is. And people being people, it's just nature. I just wish everybody the best on all of this. Absolutely.
Beautiful folks, we're going into 2025. It is going to be the best year of your lives. You have an opportunity to get help from those of us here that will do our best as a community, as a tribe, to set you on your way. Once the RV happens, we will move on to our next assignments and our next part of our lives. We hope that we have done a great service for you, and we hope that you receive it that way and will continue with us until that moment comes for this blessing. Everyone have a good night. Be well, be kind. Happy New Year, everyone. We love you. Take care. Ciao.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RV GCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RV GCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RV GCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.